English or Spanish or whatever language they speak, we just work with the language line. And if I'm able to help with Spanish speaking clients, I just let them know, like, it's gonna be an hour for me to get there and we go from there.
So, but our sheriff's department was how this particular situation,
Yeah.
that's how that were called and took them up to Sioux City and then we brought them back. And so that all takes time and money and a lot of people working together. So,
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah, thank you. I'll share the numbers with you from your county. Obviously, you understand domestic violence, homicide, violent crimes. Take one of those.
Yeah.
Probably the only one I'm gonna highlight. So domestic violence, we talked about that, helping them flee violence, protective orders, homicide, violent crimes, prep for going to court. But I think a really big one is medical clinic outreach. And a lot of abusers do track their spouse, girlfriend, either by their phone, by their car. So they pretty much know where they're at all times. But typically going to the doctor is pretty okay. So a lot of times we will meet them at the doctor's office and their abuser thinks they're just seeing the doctor or the nurse practitioner. So I think that's really important to know, because I think that's vital for that. And then housing, she talked a little bit about that. We can help with temporary and permanent housing. And then the crisis line calls, it's 24/7 and it can be just anything, a mom worried that her daughter's in an abusive relationship. It could be someone's being abused right now. It could be somebody calling in for a neighbor. It's just, you just never know what those calls will be, but.
So do you guys do any, I don't know what the best term is, as far as like ranking those 31 counties to see which ones you maybe have more, I don't even want to say clients, but you have more services that you have to do in some specific county, then is that tied to something you can see as far as, poverty levels or things that you can, see why does it happen more frequently here than over here?
Right. I think obviously I could give you all, I don't have off the top, I have like where you guys rank in the numbers of, your numbers are high. You probably know that. But there's lots of factors too. I mean, the good thing is you have people reaching out and getting help. Does that make sense? So really probably less than 40% of people who are being abused actually get help. Does that make sense? So it's good, I think, having a strong presence, sometimes knowing the resources they call more often, which is a good thing. But there are such things as, like you said, jobs, income, things like that. But really, abuse really knows no boundaries. We had a woman who is a physician, obviously making a very good salary. Her husband controlled all the money. She was in our condo for several months. So it's not always people that we think of that's going to be low income. A lot of times even people with money and resources struggle as well because there's they feel shame or they're embarrassed and they don't want to talk about it.
And are these 97 calls specifically to the crisis center?
Yes, our crisis line. Yes.
Crisis line?
Yes. So
Okay.
we obviously don't know exactly, we know they're calling from your county, if that makes sense. So, yeah, absolutely.
How does it work for you to get referrals? Do you have your own direct number? Or for instance, CASA, how do they get, people go to you versus them or?
Okay, so that's a good question. So CASA really handles sexual assault, right? So we handle everything else. So domestic violence, violent crimes, trafficking, any of those other issues. We have to work closely with CASA, with law enforcement, with the housing authority, with food banks, kind of working together. So for referrals, sometimes it is through law enforcement. They'll call and say, hey, I need some help, because really their job is to investigate, was there a crime? What is the crime? And our job is to support the victim. So a lot of times law enforcement calls us, a lot of times they call the crisis line, and then they get transferred to an advocate that's on call. Sometimes it could be a doctor, it could be a doctor's office, it could be a school, but they can call, they don't need a referral to get our services. Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, I just wonder how people get directed to you.
Right. We also have sometimes, county attorneys, Jill has a great relationship there. So sometimes county attorneys will say, hey, I really need you to come, speak with this family. So the nice thing is that we don't share information that they talk to us about. So sometimes they'll feel comfortable talking with our advocate. versus maybe the attorney or law enforcement.
Yeah, and then to add on to what you have to say, Tracy, for the collaboration that we have with CASA, because there are also victim services. We have a working partnership with them, like if a sexual assault victim were to call our crisis line, we would just do a warm handoff of, well, these advocates are more equipped with sexual assault training and trauma, vicarious trauma that they're going through. So then we will be with the CASA worker and the survivor at their office, and then vice versa. CASA will call us, let them know that a domestic violence survivor has reached their crisis line and they'd like to connect them with a domestic violence advocate.
Just work closely so we don't duplicate services.
Yeah, and then we each, we all get the overall training of how to help a survivor in need, but there's specific training for sexual assault advocates that are different for domestic violence. That's very more physical trauma. Sometimes our domestic violence can look anywhere from financial, emotional, control, power control. So yeah.
And a little bit as well, I may be just like a homicide and other violent crimes, but if there's ever a conflict of interest with CASA, I can take their cases, like if it's a sexual assault, I'll be the one that will take it from them. And since I've already been here for a little while, we kind of already built that relationship and I kind of understand the differences on the services and I can provide them that service if CASA's not able to. And we just build really good relationships with other community providers and that's how we also get information on.
What are some of those other community providers?
We had one with, it was at Marina at the hospital, I don't know Marina built this. We built that, we also have community providers such as like Seasons, I don't know if it's here. I get my communities kind of mixed up, sorry.
I mean, are there other government agencies that kind of fill in different holes that when you see, or do you guys just have to cover everything and it's different for everybody?
The Attorney General's office they have decided they have regions. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So for example, CASA has some things that they do. Safe Place, which used to be CSADD, they have Woodbury and Plymouth. So that's decided a level higher than us. So the counties that we serve south of here, we only provide homicide and violent crime services. Somebody else handles domestic violence and sexual assault kind of
Okay.
things. And so there are people who are calling us needing to know that they really kind of know where everything is. And if they don't, we sort it out or CASA would sort it out or other agencies because we meet monthly. There's coalition meetings to keep kind of
Gotcha.
everybody on track with funding to make sure we don't step on toes, but kind of collaborate as well. That makes.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it does.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because when the funding comes from, because we all get funding from.
But from state, federal.
Sometimes that news starts out one way and it ends up another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll advocate with each other, so if CASA needs assistance with, let's say that the victim is DV and SA, we both like collaborate and then provide services, because there's maybe something CASA can't cover. And domestic violence leads like can cover, so we both get together, and work with that family.
Well, there's definitely a need here in Crawford County, so. Glad you're here.
Thank you. Yes. All right.
Thank you very much.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's
You
coming.
too.
I know.
Thanks for what you do,
Thank you
guys.
for
Yeah,
coming.
and thank you for letting us come here. We
Yeah,
appreciate the
anytime.
support. You
Yeah.
guys have been good to us.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Do what we can.
Thank you.
Well, it's nice to see there's people like that out there that
Absolutely.
we have a need in Crawford County. And
Obviously, if we have more need than we care to admit.
yeah,
Those are just the ones that are coming forward.
That's the ones that we know.
that's the point. That's
It's
the
the ones
point,
that
Gene.
don't know where to turn, scared to death, and don't know where to trust.
And I think with the economy being a little bit challenged yet, that creates added frustration.
Well, right, Crawford County's top 10 poverty county in the state of Iowa, so.
Yep.
Money is usually the biggest obstacle to a successful or happy relationship.
All right,
Ready for exam.
let's take action.
Long up. For hand these out, I haven't done that yet.
Hi, you're waiting.
All right. I can get all of it.
Chunky.
Okay. That's Nancy.
Also, that canvas skills.
Okay. You bet. Thank you.
All right, getting off paper shuffled
We're
around
right
here.
there.
By the end of these meetings, we usually have quite a.
Right.
Three.
So in front of you is essentially just a little timeline of where we'd be sitting, if you guys were to set the date and time today. 60 days after today would be January 24th, and then your next meeting would be the 27th of January. So you could have that public hearing, the first vote by the board on the 27th, or anytime after. the
And we're
27th.
there, we'd just be voting to put it on the ballot, right?
Correct, yep,
Right.
that's declaring it as an essential service, yep. The work comes after, with the advisory council, which if we go by this timeline, it works out perfect, because on the 10th with the final votes, and the declaration of resolution, the 11th, we have an EMS association meeting, and then they would have set the, advisory, council that would start working the plan over, so.
Okay,
I make a motion to set public hearing for January 27th at 10 AM in the boardroom. To establish EMS as an essential service.
I would second that.
January 27th, 10 a.m.
So very nice.
Just for Dave and Ty, I mean, this is what was presented to us,
Yes.
Yes.
last week, and we decided to put it on the
Room
agenda.
full
for
of
this week.
people highly encouraging it, so.
Well, like today, setting time, date, and all the talking about it.
Exactly.
itself later. Oh, that's good. Good idea.
There we go. Otherwise, Kyle, you could just draw it on there like you usually.
Oh, that's a way better illustration there.
Kind of miss your drawings.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is there something we publish along with setting this time and date?
So it has to be published in a newspaper according to.
It has to be published.
That you're gonna hold a public hearing.
You have that.
So it should be
Are you,
in Iowa code, that 422D that I provided, but I'll dig through that a little bit.
You
further
have
to
what
make
to publish?
sure. I don't have what to publish, but I'll ask like Clay County what they did.
Okay, I just
For
get,
publishing.
get that
People aware.
Mary said they just did approve theirs. I think I got them through the vote and everything.
Yeah, it went on. the ballot.
right, but something needs to get into
In
the
the
newspaper.
Right, yep.
So you have to get that.
People aware.
I'll figure
we're having a
I'll
public
figure that
hearing.
out. I go from there. So I haven't seen anything since I've read through the code that specifically states what it should say.
Reach out
I'll
to
double check, so.
Plenty of counties that have done it, so you can
Oh, yeah.
learn from what they put out there.
No sense reading that. until we have-
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So.
And we fall within the 60 days, 27, so.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to you guys from about 10,000 feet yet last week.
No, we could tell.
You could tell it was about, I just said, I'm gonna let it go until I'm out.
Looked like you were watching a movie, probably, to the people sitting around you.
Zach, do you know, is there any criteria about publishing in the paper, like what we have to do?
We'll do all three probably,
Yeah.
just to cover our bases.
10 and 20, or I mean, is there any window that it has to be
I
done
just
before the
think it has to
27th?
be now.
Anytime.
You did the vote within the 60-day, or
Yep.
that guideline, and I just,
As
I
long as
mean, maybe
published.
we put it out there a couple times too, just so
Yeah.
people know.
The more
We could
transparent.
put something on the website if you wanted
Oh, yeah.
to, Facebook, whatever, do all the things.
Yep,
We
absolutely.
could go on the radio.
Well,
Yeah.
so with this, so since this is a political or will be a ballot election.
Okay.
As soon as the campaign starts, my duties as emergency management and towards EMS will be separated. So anything that I do for EMS will be strictly on my personal time, all of that stuff. But as we start, through this whole process until we start that campaign, I'll be providing input from an emergency management perspective. But as soon as that campaign starts, it's
Okay.
separated.
Good to know.
So, I'll have a letter that I'll sign and I'll have you sign it as well, just to provide transparency, so.
You're on top of it.
Oh, we do have a motion by Kyle, second by Gene. Any further discussion?
I've discussed this at the.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. I have a date set.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome. Thank you for keeping us all.
Yeah, I got one of them.
What time is the meeting on the 10th of September?
I don't know, it's in the email I sent you.
Okay, I'll look at it. Just was trying to get my.
Sign this one.
No, I don't want to be late.
Probably 10 or 11, I imagine. They're not usually early, but they usually run over lunch. I think it's,
Yeah,
they mentioned Goodfellows maybe.
Where's it, where at?
Woodbine.
had their report, that was very
It was
nice.
good.
All right, I'll look, it is-
Yeah, I can't remember. There'll be more to come
I
because
think it's
they'll put the
December
agenda out and
organized.
stuff.
Right.
I got a lot of stuff going on in December.
I guess, does anybody have anything else to add before we go to
See
see?
more questions for me last week again. We kind of ran out of time when Ben came in.
But it's already.
What's that?
If they want to give bad time, they don't like to tie.
Yeah, it really went really well. I mean, like I said, we spoke to Zach Nunn's office. Most of the time we get staffers when you're in the middle of the day during the week like that. I mean, it's generally a staffer, but Grassley was actually there, and then some of the other ran into a couple other offices. As we were going down hallways and plugged people and said something, generally the staffers, but I mean, it never hurts, to keep the word out, keep moving. But I don't know, I thought that for being the first one, I mean, obviously NACO's done things before because it was very well organized, we made great use of the time. So we got a lot of information out there reading. Yeah, so, I don't know if you got any questions yet, I can leave this out here for you guys to look through it any other time. Thank you.
Oh, good trip. Sounds like a real
It
good.
really was a good trip. I really thought it turned out
Yeah.
great. Otherwise, that's about all I got.
Citizens input, we don't have anybody here. Anybody on Zoom? Okay, hearing none, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Will we adjourn?
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
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 aye.